What's going on, y'all? I'm back with another video. Listen, I want you to subscribe, share, and like, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you get updates when I drop a new video. I know it's been a minute since I dropped a video, but I wanted to talk about the battle of egos, road rage, and highway warfare. I recently read a few articles and watched a few news reports about these road rage incidents that's happening across the country. And, you know, there are a few that stood out, but one in particular happened in Houston where a family was coming home from a Houston Astros baseball game. And I'm not sure what caused the incident, but from the stories that I read, Paul Castro and his sons were leaving Minute Maid Park after a baseball game, and they were followed by a driver of a white Buick sedan after Paul Castro exchanged hand gestures with the driver of the other vehicle. So this white sedan followed them onto the highway and opened fire on Castro's truck. And out of the three people in the vehicle, David Castro was struck by gunfire. Now, there are some conflicting reports about him being, on life support, and then there's some others saying that he's died. But either way, the shit is senseless and tragic. It's just crazy that people will get so angry over something to a point where they're ready to harm you and your loved ones. And I think the thing to remember is that, we can't be so easily pulled into these battles of egos without first thinking about the consequences. When you really sit back and analyze it, these road rage incidents almost never end on a positive note. And now we got one person that's potentially on life support and has lost their life. And then there's another person who's out there that's caused this. There's a killer walking around the community knowing that they, has just set off a motion of events for someone else and themselves. There's no doubt about it that the police are going to be working to find this individual or individuals that did this, But this battle, these battle of egos, they only lead to serious injury, death, and time in prison. Now you got some people saying that the father shouldn't have engaged in the exchange of hand gestures, and had he not done so, maybe the situation would have turned out differently. My thing is, we don't know, we don't know that, what I'm saying? Would have been something that I would have done? No, but we can't blame him for this, because the person or people responsible, they're going to be the ones that have to pay and be held accountable for their actions. They were the ones that, drew the gun and shot into that vehicle. But it's just important, to, keep our egos in check, especially when firearms are involved. You do what you have to defend yourself and your loved ones, from an active threat. But don't get drawn into these pissing contests with other people. Now, on another note, there was also another shooting that took place where a cyclist shot a guy who was ramming other cyclists with his vehicle. 26-year-old Angel Hernandez was shot inside his vehicle after yelling at other people riding their bicycles. He then hit a woman who was riding her bicycle. The shooter feared for his life, safety, and the lives and safety of the other cyclists, so he pulled his gun out and shot the guy. And Angel Hernandez was taken to a hospital for his injuries and arrested, and then charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. These two situations were different, but it all goes back to the same thing, which is ego. This guy was pissed off because people were riding their bicycles on the road. He allegedly yelled that cyclists shouldn't be on the street. He got into his feelings about it, and he let his ego get the best of him and decided to bully people with his vehicle. Now, keep in mind, a vehicle weighs like a ton versus somebody on an aluminum bicycle with 2 wheels. Now, he could have killed somebody. And one of the cyclists, they decided to do something about it, and they shot him. This fool could have been killed all over nothing. But the point is that you never know who's got what on him, And I'm sure that the guy didn't expect one of the cyclists to have a gun, and he ended up paying the price for it. He ended up paying the price for losing control of his ego. But anyway, you just have to learn to leave people alone, if they're driving too slow, go around them or wait. If they're following you too close, get out the way if you can. But this highway warfare has to stop. We've seen way too many casualties because of it. It's like I said before, we don't know what kind of mental state people are in. And this is what makes a lot of these situations dangerous. The battle of egos, can get people to a level where they don't want to back down, or they don't want to be seen as being a punk. There are plenty of people out there who are in the grave or the penitentiary because they didn't want to be seen as being punks or scared, and they didn't want to back down from a fight, argument, or whatever type of confrontation they kind of get into. And I think it takes a lot of mental toughness to simply, just let something go, And if you're carrying a firearm, understand that it doesn't make you invincible, and it doesn't make you God. For me, I believe that a firearm is a tool of protection and not one of intimidation, because, we get some people that like to flash their guns when engaging in these pissing contests. And, the thing is, a gun shouldn't boost your ego. Coming from the South, we grew up around firearms, and, there was just kind of like this level of controlling your emotions when it came to possessing them. Even when I spent almost a decade in the Army with 3 tours in Iraq, for me, there was always this respect that I had in terms of handling and possessing a firearm. And I think that is something that was kind of like reinforced from the start of basic training all the way throughout our military careers. You have to respect that device, that tool, as a resource capable of inflicting serious bodily injury. You have to consider that, and then you also have to consider the legal ramifications involved in making that decision to use that tool, even when you're in the right. But it's just tragic, and it's disgusting the way we're treating each other out here. And, if the young man hasn't passed away, I hope he makes a full recovery and, is able to proceed with his life. But I'm sure he's going to have a long journey ahead of him, and he's going to have to deal with the long-term psychological effects that come with, situations like this. Because he'll never be the same again. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And until next time, be careful out there. Watch your surroundings. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace.